Please be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
This is a case of Wilson versus Kelly.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Wilson, you opened your case today because you believe the deceased, Garrett Kelly, is your 4-year-old daughter Zoe's biological father. You claim Mr. Kelly's family refuses to accept your daughter until you prove to them that he is her dad. You say these results will finally give your daughter what she deserves. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Kelly, you are here with your wife, and you believe that your late son did not father the plaintiff's daughter. You claim this was an unresolved issue before your son passed, and it is your responsibility to see it through so that he can rest in peace. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Wilson, I'd like to start with you. You claim these results will give your daughter what she deserves.
Yes.
Explain.
Well, I think she deserves to know her other side of the family. She's not receiving any type of love, nothing from that other side. And it's obviously because there's doubts, you know. Those doubts were put there, I assume, by him, because I was not responsible for any of that. You know, to me, everyone's knowledge was that Zoe's was his.
And so there's no connection, you say?
No, there is no connection. I reached out. Nobody ever. Nobody ever, you know, they would always just ignore my messages. You know, it was just unanswered. I would send pictures and still I would never get anything.
And all of this is happening because of paternity denial.
Yes, you know, it was just unanswered.
And so, Mr. and Mrs. Kelly, I can see that this has been difficult for you. I'm very sorry for your loss. And on top of that loss, you also have had to deal with this paternity issue. And at this point in time, you do not believe your son fathered Ms. Wilson's child?
Me personally, I don't believe Zoe is his child because of what Garrett had said to me before he passed away, because he actually had a doubt. And
what did your son say?
Well, when me and Garrett had a discussion when he was telling me that Chris was pregnant, and I asked him, "Are you the father?" And he said he did not know. So that gave me a doubt, and then we didn't go on any farther with the discussion because he had passed away. And I was telling him before that, I said, well, we'll talk about it later on, and then he had passed away. But he had gave me that doubt that he wasn't the father.
And Mrs. Kelly,
Yeah.
I can see that this is so difficult for your family.
Well, and just to clarify, our question was Christiana never reached out to us at all. We found out 6 months ago. That's the first time we had seen pictures of Zoe. We didn't know that Christiana had tried to come to the funeral until she let us know 6 months ago. Like, she did not reach out to us at all. So the rejection, and I just wanted to clarify, wasn't from us. It was from the other side of the family. So we had no idea that all of this was going on, and that for 3 or 4 years she was, you know, either not getting in touch or trying to get in touch. We had no knowledge of that.
They're saying that you didn't reach out to them, and because their son had said that he had a doubt.
To me, I never knew he had a doubt. The issue was he had another girlfriend at the time, and he had another kid.
Garrett moved on.
That was the issue. He didn't move on. He was always with me. He messaged my family every morning saying good morning. Every single morning. We always received a message, an inspirational message to say, because, you know, he was always making sure that everybody was okay. So it was never over. It had been how many years? Probably it's 4 or 5 years, but it was always back and forth, always back and forth. There was never a disconnection between Garrett and I. At all.
But see, we didn't know that Garrett was still in touch with her. We didn't know they were still having a relationship. We had no idea because he was with somebody else. He had fathered another child. He was living with that person. He was engaged to that person.
And so from your estimation, this was a relationship he had moved on from. There was paternity doubt.
Yes.
Nothing ever came of it. And so you didn't feel like he had accepted the child. You had no idea.
Whenever I saw Garrett, I seen Garrett with the other woman, with the other child. I never seen Garrett with anyone else.
And so do you believe Ms. Wilson has some type of motive to this claim? Or do you believe that she's just trying to identify who her child's father is so that your family understands?
Whether or not she has a motive toward or not, the reason why we are here to give Chris the comfort that she needs, to give Zoe the comfort that she needs, to give myself the comfort that I need, my wife, and to give Garrett the rest in peace that he needs, and to give all of us the closure that we all need. It's overwhelming.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
And there's a lot of rumors. We come from a relatively small, city, and there are a lot of rumors. Is she his son? Oh, is that the daughter? No,
And
she
the
doesn't
fact
look
that
like.
you've had to deal with losing him.
Yes.
And then on top of that,
Well, they're not the
deal
only
with
ones
this.
that are losing him. Like, I lost him. My child lost him.
We're including
know-
you, Chris.
Like, nobody ever
including
reached out.
you.
I wasn't even invited to the funeral. I reached out and said if I could come. I wasn't even told that he had passed away. I asked
Chris,
about the
we-
funeral. They told me I wasn't invited.
But
We didn't even know
didn't
that you
want
was
me there.
involved.
know
We
that
didn't
they
know
were
that
still
you was
involved.
involved with Garrett.
Yeah.
We thought both of y'all had moved on. We didn't know that you and Garrett had a relationship until 3 years after I seen Zoe.
Yeah. We just
I did not
heard
know.
6 months ago
I
about
just
their
met
relationship.
Zoe 6 months ago. And then you telling me that that's Garrett's daughter.
And so to Mr. and Ms. Kelly, how did you find out 6 months ago about, you say you just found out about
So-
Zoe 6 months ago. How?
A relative called me about something totally unrelated, and it came up. It came up in conversation with the relative. She said, have you seen a picture of what's supposed to be Garrett's child? And I said, no, we've never even seen a picture. We have no idea what she looked like. We didn't even know that the mom was still pursuing anything or even saying that Garrett was the father. So she sent a picture. And when I showed Gary the picture, he said, I just don't see any resemblance between Garrett and this child. I just don't see that there's a connection. But he asked me, he said, but can you reach out to Christiana so that we can have some type of closure with this? So because...
To find out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I could see for myself, let me meet the child and just see can I feel it in my heart.
And so what happened when you reached out to her and you finally met Zoe? What happened?
I just didn't feel it. I just didn't feel it as I just didn't feel a connection.
And that is so sad because my kid automatically, like, if we had the pictures, she's sitting on his lap and she's smiling from ear to ear. You know, I came and told her there was a chance that she could see him today. And she was like, when am I gonna see him? When am I gonna see him?
She wants to see
Yes.
her grandparents.
Your Honor, Gary is extremely excited. We're excited. We want to embrace her if she's Garrett's, but for him, it's all this back and forth, back and forth. There have been rumors. There have been people that have called us and said things, and, that this isn't Garrett's child. She doesn't look like Garrett. Garrett didn't say that this was his child. Like the other side of the family.
Can you tell the court specifically what you've been told, what you've heard that leads you to doubt?
Well, for instance, there were 2 memorial services. Like our side of the family had one, the other side of the family had one. Well, for ours, somebody had put Zoe's name as one of his children, that he left behind. Well, the family said that they were going to take her name off of theirs, off of the obituary and the program for their memorial service, because what that family member said to us is because Garrett never said this was his child.
The doubt came from because I was technically, you could say I was in another relationship at the time that him and I conceived.
You were? Okay.
Yes, but where nobody understands, and it just doesn't seem to, I must be a liar or something. But when I was with this other man, we had a break. I had an IUD. I always took care of myself. I took it out due to menstrual cramps. I took it out because I knew this man had a vasectomy. There's no way that, anything
So you
happened.
were intimate with someone else
Yes.
during the window of time. You were
Yes.
also intimate with Garrett.
Yes.
And I have to say this because we've actually heard cases like this in this courtroom. Vasectomies, they are not always 100% foolproof. You do understand that.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have had a family, a litigant here, who said he had a vasectomy, and it was determined that he, in fact, was the biological father of the child. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Did you ever get any proof? Did you know, and I'm only saying these things because I do this a lot. And, do you have proof that this man had the vasectomy, or were you just going off of his word?
No, I was going off of his word. I was. But, we were together after I had taken my IUD, and, nothing ever happened. Garrett came over one time, and next thing I knew, I was pregnant. And then I went down through pictures, and I decided to see how far along, what could have happened, when was the window, and it was exactly when Garrett came over to the house. We were together that one time, and that
But
one
you
time.
were also intimate with the other man, just to make sure we
I was
understand
intimate
that.
with the other man. A couple of days afterwards, I was with him.
And so you're saying that you were intimate with Garrett and also with this other man within the same week.
Yes.
We do know in this courtroom that sex with two men in a short window of time, that equals paternity doubt. Vasectomy or no vasectomy. And I understand now why this is so important to get this resolved. So, Mr. and Ms. Kelly, what are your hopes today? What are you hoping for?
We just need closure. I see that the pain that my husband's in all the time. Garrett has been gone for 4 years, and it's like, but this keeps resurrecting itself. And he has to keep bearing his son's memory over and over again because this constantly comes up. He doesn't have closure. He's constantly in pain, and he needs that.
I can see the pain, Mr. Kelly. I truly can.
I do not want to have a granddaughter, and I cannot protect her.
Yeah, we want
And
to.
in this situation,
I can't protect them because I don't know. And if it comes back that Zoe is not Garrett's, that's another thing. I can still protect her, no matter what. But at least I would know something. And then being in the area of not knowing nothing.
and I can see how much pain that brings you. There's a helpless feeling to it.
And he's been through a lot. Christiana said about, everybody, yes, lost Garrett, but this is Garrett's father, So he has lost his firstborn son, his firstborn child.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
what are your hopes?
That, when this test comes back and, they have proof that she is his, that they embrace her, that they get to meet her, that they get to see she's just like him. She's super sweet. She's sassy. She has an amazing personality. I mean, she's so smart. And I believe I'm smart. I know she got it from her dad. To me, she looks just like him.
Well, I will not make you wait a moment longer. We do have the results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Because there wasn't a blood card available to test the DNA of the deceased Garrett Kelly, we performed a DNA test with his surviving parent, Gary Kelly. In the case of Wilson versus Kelly, when it comes to 4-year-old Zoe Wilson, It has been determined by this court. The percentage of relatedness between Mr. Gary Kelly and 4-year-old Zoe Wilson is 99.7%. You are related.
I told you, babe. I told
Oh, it is so wonderful to be able to deliver that result. Mr. Kelly, you have yet another living legacy of your son to love and care for and protect as you stated.
Thank you.
So now this is truly my pleasure. I'd like to ask, would you love to meet your granddaughter
Yes.
in my chambers right now so she can meet her grandfather?
Yes.
Wonderful. I will meet you all there. Court is adjourned.